All right, welcome back. And let's continue from where we left it off. The second edition of the Channels Under 17 track and field had over 1,200 athletes competing in the events, in the competition over in 10 events. And so there's still so much to say about the Channels Under 17 track and field classics. Our man, also Okon Akpan, who was in the field today, will come on later on to tell us some of the things we missed, some of the things we didn't get to see. But for now, let's go to Washington and link up with our friend Sonny Young. Sonny, it's good to have you join us today.
Sporty greetings, Yemi, and I must say thumbs up for that very sporty blue and white shirt you're wearing this evening. Looks like you could get out there on the track, Yemi, and go up against some of those sprinters. Yeah. I really like it.
Yeah, of course I can. But what do you have to say about, you probably saw some of those clips. I mean, what do you have to say about some of the things you've seen, young lads enjoying themselves, I mean, getting on the tracks, getting on the field, and just, I mean, showcasing their talent?
I think it's a great event, and kudos to Channels, Yemi, and your staff for sponsoring such a excellent event. I think it's a great springboard for developing Nigeria's athletic talent. I mean, just watching the video this evening, it looks like some of those Nigerian athletes can really fly, and you know, who knows? Maybe we'll see one or two, maybe more at a future Olympics. I think it's a great event, and so kudos. I hope these kids stick with athletics, and that that they can stick with the sport.
All right, Sonny. Let's come to your end and talk about the NBA. What do you have for us? I know Washington Wizards, it's been a mixed bag, really. But let's talk about the NBA and some of the games played over the night.
Well, the Wizards have one of the worst defenses in the NBA, Yemi, and they proved it last night in Boston. They got beat by the Celtics. They gave up 140 points. They lost 140 to 133. Scoreline, very deceptive, Yemi. Celtics pretty much controlled the game, and the Wizards made some shots at the end. But Celtics off to a great start. They have the best record in the NBA right now. 9 wins and 1 loss. They won last night without their star forward, Gordon Hayward, who broke his left hand. He'll be sidelined about 6 weeks. But right now, the Celtics definitely look like one of the top teams in the NBA again. Of course, they've won more championships, 18, than any other team in NBA history. So Celtics looking good. LeBron James and the Lakers also looking very good, Yemi. They won last night against the Golden State Warriors. The score was 120 to 94. Another excellent all-around game by LeBron James. LeBron had 23 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. The Warriors, Yemi, I have to shake my head a lot because, believe it or not, they have a worse record than the Wizards. They have the worst record in the NBA right now. 2 wins and 10 losses. This is a team that just a year or two ago was lifting the trophy in the NBA. Now they're at the bottom. They're playing with a lot of injuries. They're missing Steph Curry, their star guard. He has a broken hand. And all this is taking place, Yemi, as the Warriors play in a brand spanking new multi-million-dollar arena in San Francisco. So I know a lot of those fans in the Bay Area of California have to be very disappointed with this year's Warriors team.
Do you think the Warriors didn't plan for this season? I mean, apart from their star man who just got injured, the main injuries in the team, they've known before the season started. So do you think they just didn't prepare well? They were thinking Steph Curry was going to be able to carry the team alone on his shoulders?
Well, I think they were counting on Steph Curry to play a full season, Yemi. They lost Kevin Durant. He signed with the Brooklyn Nets. So I think the expectations for the team were that they weren't going to be title contenders, but I think I'll say I thought they would make the playoffs this year, but because of this poor start, I think they're a long shot at best to make the NBA playoffs. But still, I think Curry's absence, he's not expected back. I think for at least another 2, maybe 3 months, will really hurt Golden State's chances this season.
All right, let's talk some football. Soccer is called in your hands. So let's talk about Major League Soccer now. I know you want to talk about Seattle, Sounders, but let's allow you to talk about that. A lot of people want to hear about Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Thierry Henry. But let's allow you to start with the Seattle Sounders.
Well, Seattle has a great fan base in the northwestern United States, Yemi, and sort of a symbol of that fan base was on display at the MLS Cup final. Record crowd of nearly 70,000 at CenturyLink Field in Seattle, Washington. It's the largest crowd ever to attend a sporting event at that stadium, and I think they really sort of used the crowd as their 12th man on the pitch. At the trophy presentation ceremony, they beat Toronto FC 3-1 in the final. The MLS commissioner, Don Garber, really had a lot of praise for the Seattle fans, as well as the ownership group in Seattle. It's definitely, I would say, it's one of the hotbeds of soccer here in the United States, Yemi, in that northwestern United States. The Portland Timbers also have a very passionate group of supporters. So I think they're two of the more successful teams in MLS, which is planning to expand in coming years. I think the league is showing good growth. Still not quite on the level in terms of overall quality of play as the European leagues, like the Premiership and La Liga and Bundesliga. But I think the overall quality is getting better in MLS. And I know Ibrahimovic is leaving the Galaxy, but he really turned in 2 excellent seasons, Yemi, for the Galaxy. Scored a lot of goals, and I think the league will miss him.
All right, let's talk about the new appointment, Thierry Henry for Montreal Impact, and his coaching career didn't start too well. But do you think he might do well in the MLS?
I like this move by the Impact. Henry, of course, French speaker. Montreal, a French-speaking city. Henry is quite familiar with MLS, Yemi. He played for the New York Red Bulls at the tail end of his career. He played very well for the Red Bulls, scored over 50 goals for them. And he said earlier Thursday, that he knows the league. He's excited about coaching Montreal. And in terms of African presence, I know Didier Drogba had a short stint with the Impact. So I think Henry will do well with Montreal, and I think it's a good move by the team to bring him on as the head coach.
All right, Sonny, before we let you go, let's a slice of boxing. Let's talk about Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz. And these days, it's hard to rule anybody out. Ruiz Jr. has taught a lot of us lessons. So what's your take ahead of this fight? I know that Ortiz is 40. He's known for his counter-punching. Not really heavy hitter like that. But how do you fancy his chances against Deontay Wilder?
I like Deontay Wilder in this rematch, Yemi. I think he learned a lot from that first fight. He almost lost the first fight to Luis Ortiz. He almost got beat by knockout. And a lot of the fans that were at that the first fight, they thought Deontay got lucky with the referee's decision to sort of maybe slow up the fight a little bit. But I think Wilder learned from that. I think he's a more skillful boxer than Ortiz, and I think he's going to look for to take him out. I don't think the fight will go the distance. I really think we're going to see Wilder knock out Ortiz and possibly set up a rematch with Tyson Fury in 2020, although the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, really seems to like professional wrestling and the MMA these days, Yemi.
but if you're in Ortiz camp, is there anything he can do up against a machine like Deontay Wilder? Is there anything? Is there any chance? Is there anything from the playbook that Ortiz could do? Because the first fight was close. But speed, not really one of Ortiz's strengths. And if you're going to go up against Deontay, you probably need that. But is there anything in your playbook you could give the Cuban up against Deontay?
Ortiz does have power, Yemi, and in the heavyweight division, the saying goes, they have a puncher's chance. And so, you know, I'm not going to count out Ortiz at this point, but you know, he could land a blow that takes out Deontay. But I think Wilder learned his lesson from that first fight, and I think he'll be much more prepared in the rematch.
Okay, so you're going for Wilder, no question?
I'm going to go with Wilder. I will Wilder by knockout, and my prediction is Deontay by knockout within 8 rounds is my prediction, Yemi.
Okay. All right. We'll see what happens, and if it doesn't go that way, you hit the humble pie.
Thanks, Yemi. And I've been wrong before, but I like Deontay in the rematch.
Okay. All right, so I want to thank you for your time on the show today. Hopefully, we'll do this again some other time. All right, that's our friend Sonny Young from the Voice of America in Washington. All right, Damlola, let's continue with the show and talk about football. Let's just go to Egypt now. And before we came into the studio, I mean, some games currently going on. It's not our group, but then again, we have to, because the teams, if we get to the semifinals, the teams that we're going to meet will come from this group. And that's why it's important to look at it. So before we came on to the studio, the scores, I wasn't looking.
Yeah, Egypt defeated Cameroon 2-1, and then Ghana defeated Mali 2-0.
All right, so that's it. Confirmation of the results right there. Egypt had already qualified even before this game. Just mere formality, but then again, they still went on to defeat Cameroon. And of course, the Junior Eagles of Mali, you know, couldn't stand up against the firepower of the Ghanaians. So that's it. And of course, Ghana winning that game. All right, let's talk about tomorrow. That's where our hearts and mind will be. Let's take a look at Group B fixtures for tomorrow. The Olympic Eagles, that's what we're calling them these days. A lot of people are not using the dream team anymore. So, okay, Olympic Eagles up against South Africa. Most of the time, I don't like calling South Africa our rivals, but that's what they see themselves as. No disrespect to them, but that's what they see themselves as. Really don't think they're our rivals. I don't think they're up to that level yet. But we're up against them in at the under-23 level. Then Cote d'Ivoire, who defeated us in the first game, up against Zambia. As it is, everyone still stands a chance, depending on some of the results to qualify. Yeah. But how do you think this will pan out?
I think it's going to be a difficult one for Nigeria, but I expect us to scale through, even if by the hard goal. Okay. Like you said, South Africans will rather see themselves as a major rival to Nigeria. But then my position has always been that there are other reasons why they see themselves as our rivals beyond football.
Maybe political?
Maybe political, maybe economical, something. Because when it comes to football, I mean, there is no basis. There is no basis.
For comparison.
For comparison, really. And so I expect that it's going to be a tough one. I've not been too impressed with this team. But then, if the team is still in the competition and they are not out, then you must give them a chance. Yeah. And that's my position with the Nigerian team. I think they still have a chance. Against South Africa, I do not expect us to lose. I think we should be able to defeat the South Africans with the hard goal.
But like many people, you don't want to talk about qualification for the Olympics yet?
No, until we get out of this group. Talking about the Olympics is needless at this point. Get out of this group and then you are still in the competition at the end of the day. For Cote d'Ivoire, Zambia, it's going to be a difficult one. It's a 50-50 thing. For the Nigeria-South African game, I'll probably give 60 to Nigeria and then 40 to South Africa.
For the South Africans, you want to feel that they think their destiny is in their own hands as long as they don't lose to Nigeria.
Yeah, our destiny is still in our own hands too. The most important thing is not losing. If we beat them, it's him. What is important is forget what the table is. Forget what you've done in the last 2 games. Just know that this opponent is before you, and the only option that you have is to win them, to defeat them, and you do that.
All right.
I mean, that's the mentality that we need to go into this game with. Stop all this permutation. Okay, if we get a draw and this person does not win, maybe we'll qualify. I think it's needless.
It's needless.
Just go in there. Even if it's just a 1-0 victory, the most important thing is get the 3 points and you are safe.
6. Okay. All right. So no need for permutations, no need for buying calculators. Yeah. That's what Damilola is saying. I wish the Olympic Eagles all the best. Imama Amakabo and his boys, hopefully, they will be able to get us that ticket to the Olympics. We'll see what happens in that one. All right, still talking about the Olympics, let's just let you know that it's 252 days to go. And a lot is happening behind the scenes. The IOC president, Thomas Bach, is in Nigeria, and a lot has been happening. 252 days, that's less than a year. It's upon us, really.
It is.
It's upon us. And it's not far anymore. And he is here. He came into Nigeria. Of course, he came to do one of the things on the Association of Olympic Committees. He came here and commissioned a building in Abuja, and a lot of activities going on behind the scenes, and we're so very happy that somebody from the IS level deems it fit to be in Nigeria. Let's listen to the IOC President Thomas Bach explaining reasons for being here in Nigeria, and of course so many other things. But Damilola, even before we listen to the track, the mere fact that he is here, for me, is good news for Nigeria.
Yeah, it's significant. It's significant. It shows that at least we're doing something right, and that we're drawing the right, we're sending the right message for him to be here. Of course, don't just get the... I like to refer to him as the #1 sport administrator in the world into your land, and if you're not doing anything right. So.
Because every other sport is affiliated to the Olympics.
To the Olympics,
so it's de facto #1.
Is the #1. So it's a nice one that he is there. And I just hope that some of our administrators can also take the opportunity to meet minds with him and probably take 1 or 2 things that might help in developing our sport and moving forward. And I hope that this particular facility will be maintained properly.
Put to use properly.
Good use.
Yeah. That's the operative word, put to use. Okay, so that's it on that one. And, you know, probably before the end of the show, you get to listen to the IOC president. We'll do that. Okay, so let's see. Let's just quickly take this out of the way. Let's take a look at some of the results, rescheduled matches in the Nigerian Professional Football League. Let's take a look at the results. Obviously, some teams didn't play, continental engagements, some postponements here and there. So you have the Aba Elephants, talking about Imba, up against Nasarawa United, 3-1 United. The Flying Antelopes, talking about Rangers, a 1-0 victory over the Akure Gunners, that's Sunshine Stars. Then, of course, Aqua United played a goalless draw with Abia Warriors. These are results from rescheduled games in the Nigeria Professional Football League. We get to talk about these matches, their significance, and also our man, also Konakman, who join us, will also take some stories from the channels on the 17 track and field. So we'll go for that break now and return for more of Sports Tonight.